Hey guys, TJ Houston here with the Pixel Connection, and we recently got a few new accessories for the Profoto B Series line of lights. And the B Series is a battery operated mono light that is great when you're going out on location. So today they made the workflow even easier with introducing a new set of modifiers, a snoot, gels, a grid kit, barn doors. So we're basically going to set up a small little studio, a little shooting area here in the store and get a couple different looks from these new accessories from Profoto. If you have absolutely any questions, feel free to put it in the comments below or shoot us a message at social@thepixelconnection.com. Let's get shooting. So you can see from the bag that these modifiers are super small and super lightweight. So these are the different modifiers that we're going to use today to create a couple different looks. So a couple things changed on the way that they attach to the camera or the light itself. So you can see here we have the mechanism that locks on that's very similar to their previous modifiers, but with the barn doors and with the snoot, they really just kind of popped on and there wasn't really that locking feature like these ones have now. And what's great about the barn doors is it actually has the magnetic ring in here, so when you want to use your different gels or grids, they actually will pop right in there. So again, it makes it super easy. You don't have to worry about that falling out. Again, we're going to be able to create multiple looks very quickly because of this cool new system. This goes the same with the snoot. So with the snoot, it now has this locking mechanism, and you can tell from the previous version of this that this is much smaller. So what I do in my bag is I can just pop these together and then they don't take up a ton of space in my bag. Actually, the two of them, the grid holder as well as the snoot, fit together and still take up less room in my bag than just the snoot did before. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with a kind of our starting point is going to be just a no modifier setup. So we have our first light over here to camera, that would be camera right, and that's going to be our main light. It's currently set to 3. And then there's a light hiding behind Abby that is set to 2. So we have our ratio set up that our key light is going to be a little bit brighter. So let's go ahead and get our first test shot. And my settings are ISO 800, f8 at 200. Let's go ahead and get our first shot here. We'll do a horizontal and a quick vertical, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, and you can see here where the light looks good. It's balanced, it's exposed properly, but it's not really exciting. It's not really, there's no definition to the light. And with the light being bare bulb, it's also a very hard light source, so we can see those shadows are very distinct on the face. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop on our barn doors. This is our first modifier that we're gonna use, and we're gonna kind of control the spill of that light. So now we've attached the barn doors, and what we've done is we've controlled that light so it's just spilling onto her face. So you can see even with the modeling lamp on now that the light isn't going down into that white shirt. It's really focusing that light just onto her face because again, in the photo, that's what we want to pop. That's what we want to draw our viewers' attention to is her smiling face. And also what I've asked her to do is just look a little bit up towards the light. So let's go ahead and grab our shot and see how it looks. Count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll do one more, look in here, count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. So now you can see with the light compared to our last one, especially on where like the arm is, that light is not falling down onto the shoulder. Again, we want to bring the attention up to her face. So now we can take that a step further. We can grab one of our grids and we can put it on there and we can focus that light even more. And that's what's great about these light modifiers is the amount of control that it gets and the fact that they're stackable that allows you to control that light even more. So we're using the barn doors to kind of bring that light in, but then we're going to put the grid on it to focus that light even more. Okay, so when you put those grids on there, it's actually going to reduce the amount of light that's coming out. So I did bump our key light up to 3.5 just because I know that we're going to lose a little bit of light. So let's see how that looks. Count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And one more, 1, 2, and 3. So now you can see we are focusing that light even more. And again, all I had to do was walk up there and toss it on there. I didn't have to break things down. I didn't have to take things apart. I was able to just pop them right on there. So I think about the wedding day. When I don't have a ton of time in between shots, I can now get a couple very different looks very quickly. I don't know about you, but that background's looking a little boring. So let's go ahead and throw a gel on that background just to see the different look that we can get. So just that quickly, I was able to do three things. I was able to put the grid holder on there, I was able to put the gel in, and pop up the amount of flash that is going through. Again, whenever I am adding something to the front element of that light, I know I'm gonna have some light loss, so I gotta make sure that I compensate for that. So let's go ahead. We're not changing any of the settings on our camera. We're keeping them the same. So now, when we take this shot, we can see that we're starting to get a little bit of that purple look from behind it. And you can really change, it really takes a little bit of time with gels to really see how they pop and how they kind of act, because you can turn that gel up even higher, but then because so much light's coming through it, it's gonna wash it out. So I think for the look that we're going for, just that little pop of purple in there is absolutely perfect for this portrait. So now let's get a little crazy. Let's get a little creative with our lighting. Again, it makes it easy because now as ideas are coming to my head, I can go through and change things around. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a cross light setup. So this is gonna be more for a standard like headshot where I want a nice dark background. I wanna separate her for it, but I wanna get a little bit of separation light with her hair. So I want to get a little bit of a hair light. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a grid, I'm going to put it on the back of her head, and I'm going to get that light stand out from behind her because I don't want that light to illuminate that background behind her. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually flown a light above the V-flat. It's actually right about there. And what's great about these lights is they are lightweight. So I don't worry about putting a light up above because it's super light. It has the battery in it. And with these the new grids, it doesn't even add that much more weight. So this shot that we're trying to accomplish here is really great for things like dancers or, you know, something that you want to stand out, something that's going to be rather dramatic, because what we're doing is we're not illuminating the background at all. Our main light right over here has the barn doors on it, so it's controlling that spill of where the light's going to go. And then the light behind actually has a grid on it, and it's all faced this way. So let's go ahead and get a shot and see how that looks. Perfect, count of three, 1, 2, 3. And another one, 1, 2, and 3. So you can see there is no illumination on that background at all. So again, we are able to get very different looks very quickly. So I said I wanted to get creative. So let's play with the snoot a little bit and see just how much control we can get over that main light. So you can see just how quickly I went from the barn doors over to the snoot. Let's go ahead and get a test shot and see how this snoot performs. Count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And another one, 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. So you can see that that light is very direct now. And if we wanted to take that a step further, we could even put a grid inside of there to cut down on that light even more. So I want to get creative with gels. I love gels. So let's do a split lighting setup with our grid and get a very kind of creative, very unique look. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the two lights that we have and I brought them to the front, and on either one I have a grid and a gel. And on the barn door side, what I've done is I've folded those barn doors back, so I'm not really using them to control light. I'm just using them as a place to magnetize the grid and the gel. Let's go ahead and grab that photo. Count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll do one more, look in here, count of 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can see here, this is a very dramatic, colorful effect, and this could be used for anything that you want to be a little moody, or if you're doing something like for an album cover, that's where this lighting setup is absolutely perfect. So, like I had mentioned before, this is inside of a camera store with not the best conditions. I just think about the opportunities that I'll have as a wedding photographer on the wedding day. Look how quickly I can set up a light, throw on a gel, and just make those photos pop. Again, if it's easy, I'll do it. And that's what Profoto's done here. They've made our lives as professional photographers easier and better with these new modifiers. If you have absolutely any questions, please let us know. Please feel free to reach out. You can hit up the comments below and we'll answer them, or you can always email us at social@thepixelconnection.com. Thanks for watching.